Cyber Threat Brief for April 5, 2026. Fortinet's 40-client EMS faces its second critical zero day in weeks. CVE 2026-35616, CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, 9.1, with active exploitation over Easter weekend. North Korean hackers used fake Microsoft Teams errors to hijack the Axios NPM package and deploy RATs. Device code phishing attacks surged 37x as FA-S kits democratize OAuth abuse. Here's the full breakdown of today's top security stories. Daily Security Brief, April 5, 2026. Next section, Critical Alerts. Fortinet patches actively exploited CVE 2026-35616. In 40-client EMS, Fortinet released emergency patches for CVE 2026-35616. CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, 9.1, a pre-authentication API. Access bypass in 40-client EMS versions 7.4.5 through 7.4.6. The flaw allows unauthenticated attackers to execute unauthorized code via crafted requests. Watchtower recorded exploitation attempts starting March 31, 2026, with active exploitation confirmed by Fortinet this week. This is the second unauthenticated vulnerability in 40-client EMS in weeks, following CVE 2026-21643, CVSS 9.1. Attackers exploited the Easter holiday weekend to maximize impact while security teams operated at reduced capacity. Action: apply the hotfix immediately for 40-client EMS 7.4.5 and 7.4.6. Version 7.4.7 will include a full patch. Treat this as emergency response if your 40-client EMS is internet-facing. If you also patched CVE 2026-21643 recently, assume both vulnerabilities could be chained by the same threat actor. Sources: The Hacker News. Next section, Ransomware and Extortion. Axios NPM hack used fake Teams error fix to hijack maintainer account North Korean threat actors, UNC 1069. Compromised the Axios HTTP client NPM package through a targeted social engineering campaign. The attackers created a fake company Slack workspace, staged employee profiles, and invited the lead maintainer into a Microsoft Teams meeting. During the call, a fabricated error prompted the maintainer to install what appeared to be a Teams update, which was actually Waveshaper v2 RAT malware. The attackers obtained NPM credentials and published malicious Axios versions 1.14.1 and 0.30.4, containing the plain crypto.js dependency that installed RATs on Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. The malicious versions were live for approximately 3 hours. Google GTIG attributes this to UNC 1069, a financially motivated North Korean group active since 2018. Action: if you installed Axios 1.14.1 or 0.30.4 during the 3-hour window, treat systems as fully compromised. Rotate all credentials, authentication keys, and tokens. Wipe affected systems. Review NPM install logs for plain crypto.js dependency. Watch for similar click-fix-style attacks targeting developers via fake Microsoft Teams, Slack, or SDK update prompts. Sources: Bleeping Computer. 36 malicious NPM packages exploited RATs. PostgreSQL, to deploy persistent implant cybersecurity researchers, discovered 36 malicious NPM packages disguised as Strapi CMS plugins that exploit RATs and PostgreSQL databases, deploy reverse shells, harvest credentials, and install persistent implants. All packages follow the Strapi plugin naming convention to mimic legitimate Strapi v3 plugins. Official plugins are scoped under @Strapi/. The packages were uploaded by 4 SOC Puppet accounts over 13 hours. The post-install script hook executes automatically on NPM install, abusing root privileges in CI/CD environments and Docker containers. The payloads evolve to include RATs remote code execution via crontab injection, Docker container escape, PostgreSQL exploitation using hard-coded credentials, and credential harvesting targeting Gardarian databases and cryptocurrency wallets. Action: audit package. JSON files for any Strapi plugin packages not scoped under @Strapi/. Scan for the 4 uploader accounts: Umarbeck 1233, Kekulf 12, Teichkamif 26, Umerbektimbev 1. Check for unauthorized crontab entries, unexpected files in Strapi's public uploads directory, and reverse shells listening on port 4444. Harden RATs and PostgreSQL instances to prevent unauthenticated access, especially from Docker containers. Source: The Hacker News. European Commission confirms data breach linked to Trivy supply chain. Attack hackers stole over 300 gigabytes of data from the European Commission's AWS environment, including personal information. The breach is linked to a supply chain attack targeting Trivy, a popular open-source vulnerability scanner. Details about the attack vector remain limited. Action: if you use Trivy in your CI/CD pipelines or container scanning workflows, review recent Trivy versions and check for unauthorized access to AWS credentials or cloud environments. Monitor for unusual data exfiltration from AWS S3 buckets. Source: Security Week. Meta pauses work with Mercer after data breach, puts AI industry secrets at risk. Meta suspended all work with data contracting firm Mercer following a major security breach. Mercer provides proprietary training data for AI labs, including OpenAI, Anthropic, and Meta. The breach exposed bespoke datasets that AI companies consider highly confidential because they reveal model training techniques. Other major AI labs are reevaluating their relationships with Mercer. The breach could reveal competitive intelligence to rival AI labs in America and China. Source: Data breaches, net. Next section: Business and infrastructure threats. Device code phishing attacks surged 37 times as new kits spread online device code phishing attacks abusing the OAuth 2.0 device authorization grant flow have surged 37 times in 2026. Attackers send device authorization requests and trick victims into entering codes on legitimate login pages, granting attackers valid access and refresh tokens that bypass MFA, multi-factor authentication. The Evil Tokens Phishing as a Service (FAS) platform has driven mainstream adoption, but researchers identified at least 11 competing kits: Venom, Sharefile, Clur, Linked, Authov, DocuPol, Flow Token, Paprika, DC Status, and Dolce. The kits use SAS-themed lures, DocuSign, Microsoft Teams, Adobe, SharePoint, anti-bot protections, and cloud platform hosting. Oz S3, DigitalOcean, Cloudflare Workers, GitHub Pages. Action: disable the OAuth device authorization grant flow via conditional access policies if it's not required. Monitor authentication logs for unusual device code flows. Educate users about device code phishing tactics that mimic document sharing and collaboration tools. Watch for prompts asking users to enter codes into Microsoft, Google, or Adobe login pages. Source: Bleeping Computer. LinkedIn secretly scans for 6,000 plus Chrome extensions. Collects data. LinkedIn uses hidden JavaScript to scan visitors' browsers for 6,236 installed extensions and collect device data including CPU cores, available memory, screen resolution, time zone, battery status, and audio information. The script has grown from 2,000 extensions in 2025 to 6,236 extensions in 2026. LinkedIn scans for over 200 products that compete with its sales tools, Apollo, Lusha, ZoomInfo, and can map which companies use competitor products based on employee LinkedIn profiles. LinkedIn claims the scanning protects users and detects extensions that violate terms of service, but critics warn this fingerprinting builds unique browser profiles for cross-site tracking. Action: understand that LinkedIn is fingerprinting your browser and correlating extension use with your employer. Consider using a separate browser profile for LinkedIn that doesn't contain work-related or sensitive extensions. Monitor for similar fingerprinting behavior on other enterprise SaaS platforms. Source: Bleeping Computer. Claude Code leak used to push infostealer malware on GitHub. Threat actors are exploiting the recent Claude Code source code leak by creating fake GitHub repositories that deliver VIDAR information-stealing malware. On March 31, Anthropic accidentally exposed the full client-side source code via a 59.8 megabytes JavaScript source map in an NPM package. Attackers are using fake repositories themed around the leaked code to target developers. Action: avoid downloading Claude Code from unofficial GitHub repositories. Only use the official Anthropic NPM package. Scan systems for VIDAR infostealer indicators if you recently installed Claude Code from third-party sources. Source: Data breaches, net. Serious cyber attack impacts phones, public safety systems in several Massachusetts towns. A cyber attack affected the Patriot Regional Emergency Communications Center in Massachusetts, impacting phone systems and public safety systems in Ashby, Dunstable, Pepperell, and Townsend. Police and fire departments were affected. The attack was identified early Tuesday. No gang has claimed responsibility. Source: Data breaches, net. UK, school IT system targeted in cyber attack ahead of exam season. The Northern Ireland Education Authority's IT system was targeted in a cyber attack, forcing password resets for all users. Schools and pupils were logged out of their accounts, preventing access to exam preparation resources. The EA took immediate containment steps and launched a full investigation, but could not confirm whether personal data was affected. Source: data breaches. Net. Hong Kong Hospital Authority apologizes for data breach involving 56,000 patients. Hong Kong's Hospital Authority reported unauthorized retrieval of patient information affecting over 56,000 patients served by Kowloon East hospitals. The breach compromised names, identity card numbers, genders, dates of birth, hospital visit dates, and surgical procedure details. The monitoring system detected suspicious retrieval and a leak on a third-party platform at 2 a.m. Friday. Internal network review did not indicate a cyber attack. Hong Kong's privacy watchdog and police are investigating. Source: data breaches. Net. The breach lasted 25 minutes. How long will the litigation last? Unauthorized access to North Carolina personal injury law firm Auger & Auger's network lasted 25 minutes on February 17, 2026. The breach affected 5,102 people and exposed names, dates of birth, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, government-issued ID, and medical information. The firm notified victims on March 30 and offered 1 year of identity protection. Within days, at least 5 law firms began investigating and seeking plaintiffs for class action lawsuits. No gang has claimed responsibility. Source: data breaches. Net. Next section, general security news. Ex-Microsoft engineer believes Azure problems stem from talent exodus. Axel Reichin, a former Azure Core Compute and Windows base kernel engineer, published essays arguing that Azure's reliability problems stem from rushed launch decisions in 2008, post-launch talent exodus, lack of software quality discipline, and persistently poor execution. He points to OpenAI's $11.9 billion compute deal with CoreWeave in March 2025 as a vote of no confidence in Azure's ability to meet demanding requirements at scale. Reichin argues Microsoft should focus on bringing back senior technical leaders to improve developer training and mentoring rather than cutting staff. The rise of AI coding agents has created massive spikes in CI/CD compute demand for testing and deploying AI-generated code, with one analysis showing a 4 times increase in commits authored by Anthropic's Claude Code agent in the past 3 months. Source: The Register. Next section, patch priority. Fortinet 40 Client EMS. Apply hotfix immediately for versions 7.4.5-7.4.6, CVE 2026-35616, CVSS 9.1, actively exploited 0-day, NPM package audits. Remove malicious Axios versions 1.14.1/0.30.4 and 36 fake Strappy plugins. Rotate all credentials if affected. Open printing cups. Patch path traversal, CVE 2026-34978, authorization bypass, heap overflow, and RCE via PostScript queues, and 3 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Uta Linux, update to address talk to race condition in Mount, CVE 2026-27456. Next section, vulnerability disclosures. Microsoft Security Update Guide, Linux/open source CVEs. Microsoft published advisories for multiple Linux and open source vulnerabilities affecting Windows subsystem for Linux, WSL, and related components. Notable CVEs include Open Printing Cups Path Traversal, CVE 2026-34978 EPSS, the Exploit Prediction Scoring System, 0.1, Authorization Bypass, EPSS 0.0, Heap Overflow, EPSS 0.0, and RCE via shared PostScript queues, allowing anonymous print job requests to reach LP code execution over the network, EPSS 0.0. Additional vulnerabilities include local print admin token disclosure using temporary printers, EPSS 0.0, and Uta Linux talk to race condition in mount loop device setup, EPSS 0.0, and 5 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Action: if you run cups or Uta Linux in WSL or hybrid Linux/Windows environments, apply updates from upstream projects. Pay special attention to CVE 2026-34980, which allows unauthenticated network RCE via PostScript queues. Sources: MSRC, 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 and 5 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Microsoft Security Update Guide, Kernel CVEs. Microsoft published advisories for Linux kernel vulnerabilities. EO Uring/Pol Multishot Rec EOF handling, CVE 2026-23473 EPSS 0.0, Mac 80211 crash for AP VLAN stations, EPSS 0.0. DRM/Anjbubio list exhaustion. EPSS 0.0. IP6 SRv6 null checks. EPSS 0.0. Serial core infinite loop. EPSS 0.0. And Wi-Fi MAC 80211 SKB handling. EPSS 0.0. All have very low EPSS scores, 10th percentile or lower, and 5 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Sources: MSRC, 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 and 5 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. CVE 2026-35414, Microsoft Published Advisory for CVE 2026-35414, EPSS 0.0, 4th percentile. No description or affected product details provided. Source: MSRC. Next section, Trends and Context. Supply chain attacks remain the dominant threat vector, with attackers targeting developer toolchains through social engineering, Axios NPM hack, malicious package uploads, 36 fake Strapi plugins, and leaked source code exploitation, Claude Code. North Korean UNC 1069 group demonstrates increasing sophistication in developer-targeted social engineering, using realistic fake workspaces and staged Teams meetings. Device code phishing has industrialized with 11 competing FA-S kits, making OAuth abuse accessible to low-skill attackers. Fortinet's second unauthenticated 40-client EMS 0-day in weeks highlights persistent security issues in enterprise management tools, particularly those exposed to the internet. That concludes today's cyber threat brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay patched, stay vigilant.